Welcome to Small Town Pulse with Steve and Melissa, where the stories are good, the coffee's strong, and the charm is home brewed.
We bring you the heart of small town living,
One story,
one sip,
and one beat at a time.
Welcome back, friends. We are picking up right where we left off with Jean and Terri from the Felix Grundy Stidger Historical Preservation Foundation. Oh, that is a mouthful. We stopped part one right as we were talking about how many Confederate soldiers settled in our area after the war. Many would hide their Confederate memorabilia inside of drywall because, as you can imagine, it just wasn't a good time to be a former Confederate soldier. As homes were remodeled throughout the years, these hidden gems have been found. Plus, the foundation has a few more goodies that they are personally preserving. So grab your coffee and let's jump right back in for part two.
The other thing I think we have to mention is the president before me with the Stidger Foundation, who I think was almost the president. Well, I think Don Pay was the ex-mayor of Taylorville, was the first president. And then a gentleman named Arnie Mueller took over, and he was the president until, I don't know, a year or so ago, when he and his wife moved out of the area.
Wonderful man.
He
got this thing off the ground.
He lived and breathed the Stidger
Yes,
house.
he did.
Nobody had the passion that Arnie had. But when he moved, I went over to his house with the intent of getting just any paperwork and things he had for the Stidger cabin. He had boxes and boxes of Spencer magnets. It was called something different then, but that go back into the 1800s. Oh. And just your memory is probably better than mine of all the stuff that was in there.
Oh my gosh.
and it's preserved and...
Yes, well, the newspapers were in bad shape.
Okay.
But since then, we have been meticulously going through them and spraying them with archival spray and putting them into archival sleeves and putting them into archivally safe boxes so that they're all preserved, because we've got a newspaper from 1885. Spencer Magnet from 1885. But we've got boxes that are as tall as me of old Spencer Magnets. Wow. And it's so exciting to see it all.
We're also working with the University of Kentucky about trying to get all these old, they have quite a few Spencer Magnets already digitized and, saved electronically, but the ones that they don't have, that we do have, get that added to that collection too.
Yes.
So, and when we got all this stuff from Arnie, I'm looking at it, because I knew if there was anything there from the Stidger cabin, we were going to retain that stuff with the Stidger Foundation. But there was all this other stuff, and my first thought was, is this really ours? Some of this stuff, is it the city of Taylorsville, Spencer County? You've got the historical and genealogical group. So we got everybody together and kind of went through this stuff. And we've kind of taken...
the city, the county, the historical society, our group. We got everybody together, and although it was Felix Grundy Stidger stuff, we said, this is not just for one group. This is for everybody. And so we brought everybody in, and everybody got to look through it, and everybody got to discover. It was like finding a hidden treasure.
Yeah.
And this stuff had been stored in boxes in somebody's garage, for years and years, which again is not good for it. So now we're trying to clean this stuff up, help preserve it. We've got a climate controlled storage room where all this stuff is right now being kept. And it's kind of co-ownership of all the groups here. I don't know how or if we will ever say, well, this belongs to the county and this belongs to the city or whatever. I think collectively, all the groups just want to make sure this stuff is preserved.
Absolutely. Kathy Spears was the one who spearheaded getting this climate-controlled storage space, because she knew how valuable these items were. Tom Watson was a historian, back in the 70s.
70s, 80s, yeah.
And he had a radio show that just talked about Spencer County history.
And a lot of the stuff that Arnie had, he got from Tom.
From Tom Watson.
Yeah.
He also had a column that went into the Salt River Arcadian, which Spencer County had 2 newspapers at one time. Who knew we could support 2 newspapers? So Tom Watson wrote a column in the Spencer River Arcadian, Salt River Arcadian. He wrote a column every week, and just full of history, full of articles on Felix Grundy Stidger, on Quantrell, on the Civil War, on the first car that was ever invented right here in Spencer County. And
why
so
are we not doing that now?
What's that?
doing those columns?
Yes.
Well, we better get busy on that. What am I doing?
We need somebody who,
You're out there busy cleaning cemeteries.
I am.
we need somebody who has the passion to do that.
Yeah, right. It
I
all
mean,
comes
you know,
down to volunteers, right? With
Yes.
any nonprofit organization, it comes down to time and money, right?
I mean,
And that's our biggest problem.
Yeah.
Is we've been a foundation for a long time, but we have to, with each step, we have to raise the money. We have to do all the research. Then we can finally get the bronze plaque and install it, and then back to square one. Okay, now we need to disassemble the cabin. Let's raise the money to disassemble the cabin. Let's figure out how we're going to do it. Okay, now we've disassembled the cabin. Let's raise the money for it. So it's just
It's just
such
a
a
cycle.
long, yes. And so now we're to the point where we're getting ready to pour the foundation, but now we've got to raise the $100,000 to put the cabin back up.
Because it's not like just anybody can go put a historical cabin back up, right? It's not
Yes.
like me as a volunteer can bring my hammer and just come out there and help, right?
we're not going to get Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, this takes somebody with some
Yes,
knowledge of
a
how
definite
those
expert.
materials are to be handled, right? Because they're not the
Yeah, it's
same as
not
modern materials.
Every day that you go out and put chinking in between logs. I mean, that's just not something, that's not an art form that's done anymore.
Right.
And you know, it's so we've got one guy doing the concrete work, but he doesn't do the log work. We've got another contractor, hopefully we've got, that's going to put the walls back up for us. I've talked to him about like doing the roofing and stuff like that, and he said, no, we really don't do that, so we'll have to get somebody to do that.
Because the roof in that time it's not modern day roofs. You can't just call a roofing contractor to come out and put a roof on
Well,
this
I
thing,
mean,
right?
to get the trusses in are probably not significantly different than the way they do it today, but still, yeah, we're going to have to figure out what materials we want for the roofing.
Now, the roof that came off of it was a tin roof,
Okay.
which I bet when
Yeah.
it rained, it sounded
But that wasn't the
beautiful.
original roof.
So we're going to go back with original wooden shakes, but we don't think they're going to be wood. We think they'll be composite, but look just
So
like the
modern.
shapes
There are
of, yes.
metal roofs that look exactly like shape, the way they're made.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we haven't made any final decisions on that stuff. Again, you want to have minimal future maintenance, but conversely, you want it to be as close to realistic as it
Right.
was back in the day.
Right.
We're going to need something.
It's a delicate balance, right? And you also
Right.
want it to last because you're going to go through all this, money and time and effort.
Yes.
You want it to be there for future generations to, observe some portion of it, right?
Finding somebody who will get doors and windows for us that are
From the
period-like
1800s. Yeah.
Yeah.
doors and windows.
So none of that was able to be salvaged.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not aware of that. There's any doors and windows. Yeah.
And they weren't the original doors and windows.
Sure,
Right.
right.
We're fighting the conflict of the stairs that Terry mentioned. Some of that was taken out of the house, and it's still with the wood that we have. They don't meet today's building code standards and ADA requirements for stairs.
Sure.
But we want them to go back looking like they did. Now, is that going to be a problem for us for allowing people to go up and down non-building code compliant stairs? So all that's got to be addressed.
And that's the exciting part. I mean, to think that this is such a treasure that Spencer County gets to still have. I mean, so many things in other cities get torn down before you even realize that it's this wonderful treasure. And here's something that we can preserve, and the whole city and county can enjoy this treasure.
And it's really fortunate that some previous owner of this house who didn't realize the
What it
history
was,
of it
yeah.
just looked at it at some point in time and said, I'm going to just tear this down and build a more modern house here.
Right.
So
So you lucked out on that part.
We
So,
sure did.
Yeah.
Got
that's
it for a
great.
steal.
We spoke about what's going on with it now. Now, is there any way that people can volunteer? They can come to any meetings or?
If people are as inspired by this story, you know, as I am, sitting here listening to it and want to get involved, how do they do that?
We meet every month,
Once a month.
fourth Tuesday of the month at 1:30 at the library annex, the public library annex.
Yep.
And if you want to come, we would love to have you volunteer. We've got a nice core group, but we're always looking for more people to join us.
There's enough little tasks that have to be done here and there that if somebody really wants to get involved without getting overburdened with work, we can certainly have them help. I mean, look at all the effort that went into just the groundbreaking ceremony, and we have people scrambling for a few weeks getting all that, the logistics of that taken care of.
But if you're into history, this is exciting stuff.
Yeah.
This is really exciting stuff.
That would be if they'd like to come to our meeting. We would love to talk to them about whether being just a member. We're always looking for people that might want to be advanced to be on our board. Our board members that we have today, they're not going to want to serve forever. So when we start,
You mean this isn't a lifetime commitment?
I'm in it for a lifetime.
Terry got that memo.
it's not like I mentioned Habitat. It's not like Habitat where at some point we're going to have people working with our group that are out there pounding nails with a hammer.
Right.
There may be a couple things, at some point on the inside if we're putting in some type of material for walls and things like that, then maybe somebody could do that, but it's pretty minimal. The biggest thing really is money. I mean, it has been from day
So
one.
you need volunteers to fundraise, to
Yes.
grant research, to grant write, to do history research,
or people that just want to donate.
or people that have some money, right? Exactly. Aren't all of us nonprofits looking for that?
We're
If you
talking
find them,
about,
let me know.
we're talking about, just some other types of fundraiser activities. We're thinking about putting together some of these really nice gift baskets, and I guess it was going to be like raffle tickets sell raffle tickets for people to win these things. So when that happens, we're going to need people who are selling tickets or stuff like that. We're
Organizing these things.
We're brainstorming all the time, trying to figure out how to raise the money to get the first, I guess, phases to get the house back up, built, and finished. And then there's going to be things after that. Even once it's done, there's going to be monthly costs for maintenance, with electric, for paying electric bills and just, the daily operations of the foundation. So fundraising is an ongoing thing for any nonprofit all the time. Yeah.
And I know you had all applied for a grant, but there was a little hiccup in the grant.
Well, we applied for lots of
Well,
grants.
I know the one personal that I know about was one that there was a little hiccup in because of whether it's a preservation or restoration.
Well, the other thing that's been hard is a lot of grants right now. Like there's a national parks grant that we've been trying to apply for, but right now national parks aren't funded, so the grant's not there. So it's hard to find the grant that fits what we're doing, and then we're up against everybody else that's trying to do this kind of thing as well. But we've got lots of applications in for grants, and so we are hoping to hear back, and we've all got our fingers crossed that we're going to get this next one, and we'll just keep applying for them. But in the meantime, even the smallest amount helps us out, because we want to get this cabin put back up as soon as possible.
Because the faster it goes up, the faster it's safe, right?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's sitting there
Gotta
in
preserve,
danger at
yes.
this point, right?
I will mention one interim step too. Once the slab is and everything, the concrete's poured, we're looking at getting the contractor to go with a stack of lumber and unstack it, lay them out, so we can get an idea of what logs we have, which ones are good, which ones might have to be replaced, because we know some of the bottom ones are going to have to be replaced. Well, the ones above it can't go in until those bottom ones are done first.
Right.
So,
But the neat thing about this is because we're using historic cabin builders, when they disassemble cabins, sometimes they don't want to put them back up. So some of those higher up pieces that they get when they're disassembling a house, is that the right word?
Disassembling, yeah.
Disassembling. So we can benefit from those cabins and put them in for the first or second log. So we're not going to use brand new materials. We will be using
Period
1830
appropriate.
That is
cabin
what I'm saying.
materials.
And there are several log cabin, I don't know what's the right word, people that work in the log cabin business, that's what they do, is they disassemble, and then they've got the stockpile of logs.
Kind of like an architectural salvage.
There you go,
thing for log
exactly.
cabins. Yeah.
That's what we'd like to see, is whatever logs need to be replaced, that they do get replaced with hopefully older logs that will blend in very well with what we've got.
Well, and wood back then was so different than wood now.
Oh, yeah.
So we definitely need to use the.
I've learned a lot
correct.
about historic brick versus modern brick, so there's a lot of material differences from those times for sure.
And I was talking to a couple people about chinking, and it's amazing how many different types of chinking material there are, and how the modern chinking is so much different with this new materials.
I'm sure it's a polymer of some sort
Probably
nowadays,
is
right?
and that
Yeah.
stuff, as opposed to
Just going through there with some Flex Seal and put it between those log cabins.
You know, we just had one of our meetings up at Taylorsville Lake,
Uh-huh.
and they have a cabin there that when they built the lake, they knew that some of the buildings would end up underwater. So they moved some of them up to Taylorsville Lake, and one of them was a historic cabin. And we went into it in the middle of the summer. It was hot. And we walked in, and it felt like air conditioning. And I'm like, where's the HVAC unit? This is working great. There was no air conditioning in that cabin. I had no idea that log cabins actually stayed cool in the dead of summer.
well, those logs are good insulation. They're thick.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if
Who knew horsehair was the thing to put in?
Exactly.
I don't know if you're familiar, but up at the Corps of Engineers, where their office is, there's an old schoolhouse that's been rebuilt and a log cabin. And so, yes, we decided to have.
And those are both from Van Buren, right?
Yes,
Right.
they disassembled them and then reassembled them back up by them.
Yeah, so we
The
decided to
little
have a
office.
meeting there and just kind of take a little tour of both buildings and help get some ideas of what we're looking to do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
that's
cool.
awesome.
Well, I think too, before we go, we got to at least touch on the Spencer County Historical.
And
It's another
Genealogical
very
Society.
long one.
Yes.
Okay, Historical and Genealogy Society.
Yes.
So you're a part of that. Or Gene, are you a part of that as well?
No, not really.
Not officially? Unofficially?
Obviously, that's correct. Honestly, I would love to help them if I can.
Yeah.
Things because of the assistance they're giving us.
Right. Okay. So now tell us a little bit about what that society does.
Oh my goodness. We are interested in everything history, Spencer County, Taylorsville. So we're partners with the Felix Grundy Stidger cabin because we want to see that happen. And at our groundbreaking ceremony, the Spencer County Historical and Genealogical Society gave a big donation, and it was so exciting. We were very, very surprised and very pleased that they gave that big donation. So we work very closely together. There's another group in town that just formed about a year ago called America 250, and we are getting ready to celebrate our nation's 250th birthday. And so we wanted to get ahead of the curve, and we wanted to have as much time as we could to plan for this big celebration that we're going to have. And so they're also very interested in helping with the Felix Grundy Stidger cabin. Teresa Winkler recently passed away, but I spent a lot of time on the phone talking to her about Camp Branch Cemetery. I restore the historical cemeteries here in town, and she was just a wealth of knowledge on
I
Spencer
feel like
County
our town
history.
lost a historian.
Oh my goodness, yes. And she just talked and talked and talked about this Camp Branch Cemetery, and to have all that history. She was also somebody that really supported the Felix Grundy Stidger cabin restoration.
Yes.
And so we did something in memory of her, and Steve spoke, and oh my gosh, there was not a dry eye in the crowd. You just spoke so eloquently, and the things you said, I love that she was so behind the history of this county. And there are so many groups that are behind the history of this county.
And to me, it's very important that we get this history out of the people who have it in their heads, right? And get it documented in a way that people will consume today, right? Which to me is video and audio. I think that's, we're not a reading society anymore, as we discussed earlier. People we're used to Facebook, we're used to TikTok, we're used to reading. I want the Cliff Notes version. I want to read about this much, but I'll listen to you for hours if you tell me about it, right? And if you tell me about it with somebody who's got some passion for it that you can clearly feel, like when you guys speak, I feel it. So I'm paying attention, whether I'm super into American history or local history or whatever. Your infectious, love for it makes me pay attention
to hear somebody or watch somebody that was passionate, Arnie Mueller made a video, and it shows the cabin before it was torn down, before we disassembled it, and he just talks about it, and you can see the passion on his face.
I will look that up.
It's on our Facebook page, the
Okay.
Felix Grundy Stidger Historic Foundation. That's the Facebook page.
Okay.
And maybe I'll send that to you guys so you can post
Yep,
it so people can find it.
Well, you have
The
it.
one you're talking about, the one where they used the drone too, that did
Yes, it's a
aerial-
great video.
Yeah.
A great
It really was
video.
Well,
well
when
done.
you get it rebuilt, I have a drone, so I will come in.
Oh, and we could do an updated
Yes,
after picture from the
absolutely,
before. Oh,
absolutely.
that'd be
I
so
will help
fun.
you make that video.
Could also do one as it's in stages.
In process.
Oh, that'd be
yeah.
so
Let-
fun.
Let's
Yeah.
make sure we document that. And,
We're gonna
and have
take,
that.
certainly construction photos as the work is being done.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
By the way, I was gonna do this at the beginning, but we just jumped into this. I don't want to end this podcast without thanking Steve again for what he did with the, what was it, about 10 days period of time at the Pyrite Illusions, of taking a portion of the proceeds from your sales during that period of time, and kind of knowing that it was something that your friend Teresa was so passionate about, and then donating that to the Stidger Foundation. And we just can't thank you enough for that. That was really very, very thoughtful.
I thank Teresa for that, because without her, I would not have the knowledge that I do of Taylorsville and Spencer County. We took one day, we went over to her house. I cooked some dinner, took it over for her and her mom, and me, my wife, and our friends were over there. And my wife likes walking the creeks, so she told my wife, "Yeah, come on down, walk the creek." And she goes, "Steve, you don't want to do that, do you?" I said, "No, what do you want to do, Teresa?" She goes, "Let me take you on a little history tour." And she drove me around Wakefield all the way up, told me where the schools were,
Oh my
and then
gosh, how fun.
yeah, it was great. It was great, because she knew I was in tourism, and she wanted me to get all the knowledge I can to benefit us. And the Stidger House is a great way to bring tourism back and have people come and check us out. So.
It's like all of us, our own family history. Every year that goes by and we lose some of our older relatives, that history, if it's not been recorded, it's gone forever.
It is.
I can't tell you how many times since my father passed away, things that have come up, questions I would have asked him and he could answer for me that I'll never get answered now.
Right.
And it's the same thing with where you live. There are people here that have that information. I don't know how we capture all that. You're right. It's got to be done with video or minimally audio.
Well, the library's doing such a wonderful job. They have a video history
Yes.
going where
I
they're
actually
bringing
spent
people
an
in.
hour.
Yes.
I think it was an hour and a half. I mean, it was a video of somebody who was giving their account of the history of Main Street,
Their
and they
oral
were showing,
history.
and they were showing old
Wonderful.
pictures. Now, hour and a half, you gotta be committed. That's a long time, and I listened to the whole thing. I was committed, but I found it very interesting. But if we could break that up into little mini-series, little, just like my husband always says, he's like, "Do you want to watch this movie? It's 2 hours long." I'm like, "No." He's like, "You want me to pause it every 30 minutes so it feels like Netflix?" I'm like, "Touche, yes, okay." Apparently I can watch 2 hours or something, or longer, as long as you pause it every 30
every
minutes.
30
It's a nice thing. They let you come back to where you left off.
Right. Well, give us your contact info one more time. We're going to put it in the podcast notes, but okay, somebody wants to make a donation. How are they going to do
Okay,
that?
so if somebody would like to make a donation, The best way currently, until we get something set up online, is to mail it to us.
Okay.
And you can just put, on there. You don't have to get the whole long name, but the Felix Grundy Stidger Foundation, or Grundy Foundation, anything like that. And our mailing address is here in Taylorsville is P.O. Box 15,
Okay.
Taylorsville 40071.
Okay.
Our Facebook page is the Felix Grundy Stidger Historic Foundation.
Okay.
Okay.
And you have is it a group or a Facebook page? Or do you have both?
It's a Facebook page,
Okay.
but then we also have a website
Okay.
on the Visit Taylorsville website. We're a partner with them, so
Okay.
you go to Visit Taylorsville, you go down to Partners, and then you go down to Felix Grundy Stidger.
Perfect.
Click
Yeah,
on
that's
that.
easy to find.
Yes.
We can, if you're willing, we can both repeat our names and phone numbers if they'd like to call either one of us.
Absolutely.
Okay. Ladies
Terri
first.
Cooper, 477-8500.
Okay. Easy enough.
502 is my area code.
And I'm Gene Balter, and my cell phone number is area code 813-918-5561.
Okay. So if they forget when the meeting is and they want to come, they can give you a call,
Call
or
or text. Yep.
Perfect.
But yep, as a general rule, our meetings are the fourth Tuesday of the month, 1 o'clock, at the library, usually in the annex building.
Okay. Awesome. And they can always check Facebook if there's going to be any changes.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys
Well,
so much.
thank
Thank
you
you for
very
the
much
work
for
that you're
being
doing
here.
to preserve our history, both societies.
It is so exciting.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing a little bit of your passion with us today.
There's a little frustration
I'm a little
to it, but
inspired.
it is fun, and it is really rewarding. When we get this done, I think we're going to all be able to look back and be really proud of what we've been able to save.
Yeah. Oh man, nonprofit work will cause some gray hairs. Man, right?
Yes,
It's
Maybe
like,
he's getting the gray hairs because I'm not getting them.
I feel like we Asian dog ears.
But at least it's staying in place. It's not falling out.
We are very honored that you asked us here today, and very
Yes.
honored that you're showcasing the Felix Grundy Stidger Cabin. Thank you
We're
so
honored.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and we'll do some updates as we go along.
All right.
Yes, we'd love to have you back as things start progressing, and we want to keep the community involved and up to date on what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
That's all for today's episode of Small Town Pulse. Thanks for sharing a little bit of your day with us.
We'll be back soon with more voices, more stories, and more of the heart that makes small towns shine.
Until then, keep listening
Keep smiling.
and always keep your finger on the pulse.